This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish, founder of Abish Financial Services.
A lot of firms out there say they will do tax planning, say they will do Social Security planning and RMD planning, and typically they just do investment management. They want your money.
You've worked hard your whole life to earn and save. Now you need a plan to make that money work hard for you.
Where do you stand today with your retirement accounts, with your insurance, with Social Security, RMDs, taxes, all of it? This is how we need to think. We need to think outside of the box on these matters.
Abe is here to help you unlock the keys to your retirement.
Can you even remember the days before our smartphones? I have a hard time remembering what life was like before the iPhone.
Yep, you got payphone. You had payphones.
That's right. Oh, gosh, the payphone.
And you better have had change with you. Otherwise, you weren't getting on the payphone.
Here's a quarter. Call someone who cares. That song's not relevant anymore. When you think about all the things that you can do with your smartphone, it's funny to remember the old days when Bell actually had to explain to us how to use a rotary dial telephone.
Before calling any number, first secure the number from your new directory. Then remove the receiver and listen for the dial tone. It sounds like this.
I mean...
That tone indicates everything is ready for your call. With the receiver off the hook, dial the desired number. This is the ringing signal. If the line is busy, you'll hear this busy signal.
The patience that none of us have at all anymore, to say the very least, I think. We've obviously come a long way with technology. But, Abe, where are we with financial planning? How different is it, we're planning for retirement today, than it was for our parents?
Yeah, man, times have changed, Heather. That was back in the 50s, before my time. I'm remembering the AOL days when AOL was pretty much the world's internet provider, and you had to dial up through the modem.
That dial up, yes, the modem.
And if you heard that connection, that sound of that connection, you were like, yes, we got connected this time.
Satisfying, yes.
Yeah, man, that seems like a century ago as well. Mm-hmm. But technology is just changing the world so quickly, and I feel as financial professionals, if we are not using technology and taking advantage of technology and implementing it, using it along with our clients, we're going to get left behind in the dust, and so will our clients. So we all need to stay on top of technology, and we feel, Heather, here at Abish Financial Services, we do a great job of implementing technology and using software and technology wherever possible to automate things, to stay on top of investments and income planning and tax planning. We use software for all of these things, and technology kind of wrapped around our clients' retirement plans that we depend on to some extent. So it's very important. Times have changed, but we have to keep up with the times, even with our retirement plans. So very important. We just had a couple call into the show recently, Heather. They're 65. They live in Sterling, Virginia. They have about $1.5 million saved.
Okay.
Just retired. They're a 5 on our risk scale, and their problems were, not the amount of money they saved. They saved enough money, but their stuff was everywhere. And I like to call this sometimes the junk drawer. So that financial junk drawer, that was their biggest problem. What I mean by that is just this pile of stuff. Good job of saving money, but the investments were everywhere, accounts scattered everywhere, insurances, pensions, Social Security, some annuities, real estate. And they come in, like so many couples do, Heather, and they're like, we think we're okay. We have a bunch of stuff,
right,
but we feel like we haven't made this transition yet, even though we've retired with our retirement planning. So think of retirement planning a lot like climbing up and down a mountain. And you've got phase 1, phase 2. Phase 1, climbing up that mountain, that's the accumulation and work phase of our lives. Phase 2, climbing down that mountain, descending down that mountain is just as important, if not more important, Heather. You're not going to go to a cardiologist to get foot surgery.
Right.
You're going to go to a foot surgery specialist to get foot surgery, right? Same with heart surgery. You're not going to go to a foot guy to get your heart worked on. And what I mean by that is phase 2 retirement planning. Income, distribution, withdrawals, RMDs, Social Security, pension, annuities, tax planning, healthcare planning, estate planning. This is all phase 2, descending down the retirement mountain. And it should be a customized, specialized plan that is different than when you're 30 and 40 years old. And this couple realize that. And that's why people hire us, is because they're saying, hey, we think we've done a good enough job. Most people in the DC metro area have. But now they're saying, wait a minute, I'm just about to retire, Abe and the team. I am retired. I don't want to blow this thing up.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to mess this thing up. I don't know what I don't know. Let me go to the professionals who do this on a daily basis and get their opinion. And so that's really what our Where Do I Stand plan entails, Heather, a comprehensive retirement plan addressing all of the things typically not planned for in phase one. So what was the solution for them? Being a 5 on our risk scale, Heather, they're kind of middle of the road investors. They're moderate investors. They're not too conservative, not too aggressive. They don't want to get burned in a market crash. Yet they want to, keep up with inflation. They want to keep up with the market's growth. And they also don't want to sit on the sidelines.
Right.
So we recommended a 50-50 split for them between growth and between income, between risk and between safety. And talking about technology, and going back to the phone conversation we had, and when the Bell telephones were around and the payphones and all these things, we use technology when it comes to designing our client's investment profile and retirement plan. We even have black swan interruption technology, things like COVID. COVID, let's hope, is a once in a century type of black swan event that very few people know about, or, perhaps no one knew about it, and it just sweeps the world by storm and takes over, and no one is prepared for it. We call that a black swan. Well, now, using technology, we have black swan interruption technology, which, if it does what it's supposed to do, can kind of detect when the markets are falling precipitously, like what happened in March of 2020. Black swan event hits the shores of the country and the world. The markets fall down, at least the S&P 500, 34% in 30 days. And instead of just riding it out and hoping for the best, using technology, we can go to cash. We can go to cash on part of the portfolio or all of the portfolio. It's that moat around the castle. It's getting out of harm's way. It's lowering our standard deviation. It's lowering risk, setting ourselves up for the next 30 years of our lives, but not sitting on the sidelines at the same time. It's this mindset shift, Heather, from all growth and getting up to the peak of that mountain to now growth and income, and descending down the mountain without slipping and falling. So think about clipping in your gains. Just think about that guy or gal climbing up the mountain and then descending down the mountain. Most of the time we have conversations with our clients, Heather, they've won the game. They've reached the top of the retirement mountain. Imagine what that would look like for you. You say, Abe, you know what? $2 million was my goal, and you've hit the goal. Or perhaps you're going to retire in 2022 or 2023, and if the markets continue to go up at X return, that you're going to hit your goal. Now let's take all of this money and this net worth you have and these assets and turn them into assets that we can enjoy over the rest of our lives.
So the idea of using technology to our advantage, let's further that conversation, because as you were pointing out, there are options and abilities that you have there to help us figure these things out as we try to figure out how much money we'll have in our retirement and whether it's going to last us 20 or 30 years. There's one word that we tend to hear over and over and over again.
Let's talk about market volatility.
The recent market volatility.
You've had volatility in the last week.
A new, quote, regime for volatility.
When you see a lot of volatility.
The Dow plunging 800 points today as market volatility ramps up in a big way.
Abe, as you were talking about during, I know, right? Volatility during our working years when we're still building our nest egg, it isn't really that big of an issue. But then we get to our retirement years and suddenly it becomes a huge one.
Yes.
So is this point in our lives when we need to start perhaps paying more attention to the amount of risk we take in our portfolios?
100%, Heather, and absolutely. We've been hearing volatility a lot.
Yeah.
Why? And we've only seen it a little bit this year. For the most part, the markets have been up and in a huge way. And until the Federal Reserve starts pulling back and until we start hopping off slowly this injection of cash into the system, the markets are going to continue to go up, we feel. Now, the Federal Reserve's talked about pulling back their thumb off the scale a little bit, right, heading into 2022. I think mid-2022, we might see the first rate decrease. And I think that's when maybe mid-next year, towards the end of next year, you might start to see the markets retreat. But we all know what goes up must come down. We've got to pay attention to volatility. Sometimes, Heather, we call it turbulence. And we say to our clients, most of them here in the DC metro area, if you're flying out of Dulles Airport and you're heading over to LA, let's say, and you've got two planes flying right next to each other, and you see one is smooth or the other plane is bumpy and it's going up and down, and the pilot's like, hey, everybody back to their seats, seatbelts on. We're going to hit some turbulence here. That's never fun, right? We want to be on that plane and on that smooth path and trajectory over to to the West Coast in our retirement plan that's free of as much ups and downs as possible, the smoothest and most stable our portfolio can be, the more smooth and stable our income will be in retirement as well. And that's huge. We've got to pay attention to that. Most people need a customized portfolio and plan built for you based on your investment profile, your needs, risk, and objectives. And again, if you're close to that retirement mountain, the end of your working career and headed into or already transitioned into the retirement phase and second phase of your life, you need a plan that is customized for that phase of your life.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish. To learn more about Abish Financial Services, visit retirementkeyradio.com and join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 2 p.m. on WMAL.
Patrick Volk is an investment advisor representative of J. Hagan Capital, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abish and Patrick Volk are licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abish Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abraham Abish or Patrick Volk. NPN number 770-3575 and NPN number 727-978.